Hello everyone, my name is Guillaume and welcome to the loudest episode of Hit the Tone. I'm legitimately scared now. Hello everyone, I hope you're doing fantastic today and welcome to this new episode of Hit the Tone on Thomann's Guitars and Basses. Oh my god. If you're not familiar with the format, I'm taking intros, licks, bits, riffs of famous songs and try to give you all the tools you need to hit the tone. Now this is a recommendation based format, so please go down the comment section and let me know which song you'd like to see here next and I'll get to you as soon as I possibly can. While you're down there, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, ringing the bell. Thank you very much in advance. And now without further ado, let's start with today's song, which is Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. This song was famously recorded by Mr. Randy Rhoads, and the story goes that he was using a Marshall Super Lead amplifier with his Jackson guitar. Now we'll get back to the amplifier in a minute. I do not have a Jackson. I would have liked to use the Jackson signature Rhoads guitar, but it's not in stock at the moment, and he was also an infamous user of Gibson Les Paul Custom, which is what I have here today in that glorious black beauty. And that I will be using in the bridge position, and that sounds like this. Alright, that's done. Let's jump on to explaining that in our amp and pedal setup. As I said earlier, this amp was, as far as I could find out, recorded on a Marshall Super Lead 100-watt amplifier and a matching 1960 cab, or two, probably two. And the story goes that the amp was so loud that no one could stand to be next to it in the studio, so they actually put the amp in the basement, and Randy was recorded from the control room. There was mention of possible internal bleeding if getting too close to that amp. The problem for me right now is I tried to emulate that sound with pedals, I tried to emulate that sound at a lower volume, and none of it was working. As you've seen in a couple of previous episodes, I'm still using the Marshall JCM 800 Lead Series Studio. The controls will be on the screen, and on this screen you will see that everything is dimed. It is extremely loud. The EQ probably doesn't make so much sense right now, but the JCM 800 circuit is relatively vastly different from a Super Lead circuit, notably in the amount of treble that is present in the amp. So the mid-range and bass are all the way down, volume, both preamp and master, on 10, so is treble and presence. Now, I don't recommend doing this at home. There are ways to get close enough to the sound with Marshall type pedals. That being said, I kind of want to go the extra mile here and just use the amp. So no pedals involved today. I'm going through the board, but nothing is on except for the buffer. And going into the amp cranked. And again, that sounds like this. Now, if you're on the verge of reconsidering what you call a bedroom amplifier, reconsider again. I think Paul Gilbert said that Marshall watts were the loudest watts, and he's a very wise man. So definitely don't try this at home, but you know, rehearsal space on stage. If you can do this at home, go ahead. It's really fun, but it's extremely loud. But that being said, I think that's the closest I'll get to the actual sound. And with that, let's go on to the last part of that video, which is definitely the most important part, and that is how to play the song. Now, before we get started, please note that if you need to spend some more time learning the song, the tabs are available in the link in the description box down below. You will also find there a link to everything that I'm using today, the guitar and the amp, as well as some recommendations to try and get there at a lower volume of pedals and different price points. But with that covered, let's have a look at our picking hand for the introduction as well as the verse riff. The introduction needs no introduction, I guess. It's one of the most famous licks in guitar history, and that's probably on the list of songs that people start learning guitar with. It's pretty straightforward, but when going into the verse riff, I have seen a bunch of different variations of it in terms of how it was played. I went with that version because to my ears, that's what sounded the closest to what Randy does. There might be slight variations depending on the tutorial you're looking at, but that's what I went for. And now let's have a look at our picking hand. And that is it, guys. I think you have all the tools you need to hit the tone on Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. Now, once again, I have to put that disclaimer. This is by no means the actual sound. I don't have the right ham, don't write the right levels, in spite of me trying really, really hard to get deaf. But I think it comes pretty close. I hope you learned something and I hope you had fun learning it. As usual, please leave me a comment down below and let me know which song you'd like to see here, and I'll get to you as soon as I can. While you're down there, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Thank you very, very much in advance. You guys stay safe, keep playing music, and I will see you next Monday in a new episode of Hit the Tone. 3, 2, 1, go!
Bye.